Richard Boykin from Austin Family Community Center ComEd Podcast to continue our ComEd EnergyForce Podcast Series in celebration of the 10th anniversary of the EnergyForce Program. Episode 426 of the Special Chronicles Podcast starts right now on SpecialChronicles.com. The mission of how I started podcasting and started Special Chronicles is giving respect and voice to those of us with special needs. I became an athlete leader of Special Olympics Illinois, and when I recorded the audio of the speeches that I was given and putting those up as podcasts, I soon received messages of encouragement, and I learned that it was a powerful platform and really helping to make a difference in people's lives. 12 years ago, I didn't expect that anybody would want to even listen to me. We have over 42,316 listeners per month. It's a humbling experience. I'm really grateful to make a difference in other people's lives.
This is Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.
Podcasting since 2008. This is the show where we're broadcasting disability stories from an insider's perspective, and we are giving a voice to people with special needs. This is your weekly guide to find and enjoy acceptance and inclusion.
I shudder thinking how the world can be so cruel. I lend my voice to those who can't. It's time we try, it's time we care, it's time we stand. It starts with a voice.
Welcome back to the Special Chronicles Show. My name is Daniel, founder of Special Chronicles and a Sergeant Shriver, International Global Messenger of Special Olympics. And I should add for this series, ComEd EnergyForce Ambassador, along with a guest. So good to be back behind the microphone. And right off to kick off the program, I want to just mention a few things at the top of the episode. First off, before we bring on our guest, first off, I want to mention that the Special Chronicles Show is presented by the ComEd EnergyForce Ambassador Program. Learn more about the nation's first energy efficiency education program taught by people with disabilities, including video resources, an original podcast series that you are listening to right now, and external resource links at SpecialChronicles.com/ComEd. That's SpecialChronicles.com/ComEd. And help us fund our weekly podcasts and live stream shows on Special Chronicles so we can tell empowering stories behind the microphone to further our mission and vision, giving respect and voice to people with special needs. Please join our community of supporters and make a gift today at SpecialChronicles.com/give. That's SpecialChronicles.com/give. And along with making that gift, if at the $250 gift level to this podcast, Tim Shriver will send you a free autographed copy of his new book, The Call to Unite: Voices of Hope and Awakening. Once again, to make the $250 gift to this podcast, Special Chronicles, you can text GIVE 250 to 833-953-2598. That's text GIVE 250 to 833-953-2598. Or you can go online right now to SpecialChronicles.com/give. That's SpecialChronicles.com/give to make your $250 gift. And at that gift level, you will receive a thank you gift sent from Tim Shriver of that free autographed copy of his new book, The Call to Unite: Voices of Hope and Awakening. And with that, one final note before we introduce our guest, I want to just mention that SpecialChronicles.com to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and to subscribe to our newsletter and podcasts on Apple Podcasts, the iHeartRadio app, and wherever you get your podcasts. Please share our podcast with your friends and family to help us grow our audience, reaching 5,000 downloads of our audio podcasts and 24,000 average monthly listeners. And with that, we're going to go ahead and welcome our guest. Richard Boykin from the Austin Community Family Center stops by the podcast right now. So please put your virtual hands together, depending on wherever you are listening to this, at whatever time you are listening to this, morning, afternoon, evening, anytime. Please put your virtual hands together as we welcome Richard Boykin, ComEd EnergyForce Ambassador, to the show. Welcome, Richard.
Thank you, Daniel. It's a pleasure to be here this morning with you.
Yes, it's great to have you. I know I've got my coffee here, and so good to have you on. This is part 5, I believe, of our EnergyForce series. Let me look in the show notes. Yeah, part 5. And right off the bat, why don't you introduce yourself to our listeners? Tell us your connection to our disability community and your role at the ComEd EnergyForce Ambassador Program. We share the same role, but yeah. So, yeah.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Richard Boykin. I am an ambassador with the Energy Efficiency Program with ComEd, and I work from the Austin Community Family Center. My job coach is Ms. Terry Roseborough, and the director here at the Austin Community Family Center is Alex Roseborough. And it is truly a pleasure to be on here with Daniel this morning. I've had the opportunity to know Daniel for 3 years now, and I thank God for what God has done in this young man's life. Being with ComEd, I can get a few tips from him because he's been doing this for a while. Again, I've only been here 3 years, but it's truly a blessing to see how he works with the disabled community, how we all come together to work with the disability community, and just give God the glory that he lets us work with one another and unite with one another.
Awesome. And that you mentioned how we're all united together, and that was a perfect kind of connection to a previous guest we had on for the second time, Tim Shriver, chairman of Special Olympics International. And I don't know if I've got his new book on my desk. You can't see it. It's off camera here, but the Call to Unite Voices of Hope and Awakening. And if people make that $250 gift to this podcast, SpecialChronicles.com/give, then Tim Shriver will send them a free autographed copy of the book, The Call to Unite Voices of Hope and Awakening. It's a really powerful book. There's a collection of different voices from different from pastors and celebrities and ex-presidents and ex-cons and just all different types of voices from across the country. But that's not why we're having you on. Let's continue with your ambassador backstory. Tell us a little bit about your backstory, early years, growing up, and some of the challenges and joys and accomplishments because of your disability.
Well, I grew up in a small town in Ironton, Ohio, which I grew up in a very religious family, very religious community, athletic community. So, being the disability that I had, I learned to work with it at an early age because mom was a nurse, my uncles were doctors. So I had a blessing there to be able to work with my disability. But as I grew and got older, my disability, it's still there, but I thank God that he allows me to work through it and with it. Again, my family background was totally different from here in Chicago. We were a more united community back in Ohio. When I moved to Chicago, I had a little struggle at first because I wasn't used to this type of atmosphere. I was used to a close-knit community. I was used to being around all my friends, which were Caucasian, African-American, Mexican. That was a true blessing. And even working with other as I came to Chicago, I worked in the Chicago Park District, where I was blessed to have the opportunity to work with the Special Events Program with the Chicago Park District. So, as going along, I'm doing well. And again, I just give God all the glory for this day.
Awesome. And once again, our guest is Richard Boykin, fellow ComEd EnergyForce Ambassador from the Austin Family Community Center in Chicago. And we're going to go ahead and take a short sponsor break. And when we come back, we'll get into a little bit more about Richard's involvement with the Austin Family Community Center and a little bit more about the ComEd EnergyForce Ambassador program. Right after the break, you're listening to the Special Chronicles show right here on SpecialChronicles.com. We'll be right back. Support for Special Chronicles comes from listeners like you. As an independent public media podcast, Special Chronicles will always be there for you. Now we're asking you to be there for us. As a nonprofit independent media organization, we can only make programs like Special Chronicles with listener support. Our programs provide weekly, candid, honest, and inspiring conversations about the people with disabilities community that creates awareness, support, and advocacy within each week's episode. Listeners tell us our shows are an enjoyable and necessary podcast for the intellectual and developmental disability community and everyone else who is able to listen to stories about life from a different angle. Please, if you and your family love our weekly podcast, make a one-time, monthly, or annual gift of thanks today. Support this podcast at SpecialChronicles.com/give. That's SpecialChronicles.com/give. Our guest is Richard Boykin, fellow ComEd EnergyForce Ambassador from the Austin Family Community Center. And welcome back, Richard.
Thank you.
And let's now get into a little bit more about your backstory with the Austin Family Community Center. So share with us a little bit about how you first got involved in the Austin Family Community Center.
It's been about 7 years ago. The Austin Community Family Center used to be the old YMCA located on North Central. And as Alex Roseborough became the executive director, Alex and I had worked together for years with fatherhood programs, with substance abuse programs, with handicapped individual programs, just mentoring men and women throughout the city of Chicago and the state. So I got to work with Alex and my coach, Terry Roseborough. And what we do at the Austin Community Family Center, it is a center for the community in the Austin area. It is a safe haven where we work with our youth and adults and seniors with recreational activities, with cultural activities, with social activities, with educational activities. And it is a very up and coming program in the Austin community. Right now, we're going through some things to where we need to get on like you are with Special Chronicles. Again, I thank you. We got to start raising some money with our new board of directors we have, to enhance our programming in that community. But through the will of God, things are starting to work out. And we have, like I say, we have a new board of directors that's working very strenuous with the employers at the center to make it a better place for the community in the Austin community.
Awesome.
As I was there, that's when I came into contact with Mr. and Ms. Roseborough concerning the energy efficiency program. I wasn't aware of it. And they kind of brought me into the fold of it, and it sounded very interesting. And as I began 3 years ago, this is my third year as an ambassador with the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program. It has been a true blessing. I had the opportunity before we got into COVID to be able to go out in the communities.
Awesome. So we'll get into a little bit more about your involvement with the ComEd EnergyForce program in a few moments. But before we take our next break, share with us what you enjoy about your involvement with the Austin Family Communities Center.
What I enjoy most is being able to help people in a poverty-stricken community that need help, being united together more, being able to work with the youth in the community over there. Because, in the Austin community, we are going through some struggles right now, which the whole city is going through these struggles. But to be able to work with young men and young women, to be able to work with ex-offenders, to be able to work with guys that are trying to get themselves from the homeless life and from drugs and alcohol. That's dear to my heart, to be able to assist and help one of these people.
Awesome. We'll get into a little bit more about your involvement with the ComEd EnergyForce program after our next break. But this next break is all about one of our major partners, corporate partners at Special Chronicles. If it wasn't for the ComEd EnergyForce program, Richard and I and all of our hundreds of guests over the past now 13 years wouldn't be able to be behind the microphone, and we wouldn't be able to continue our mission and vision of giving respect and voice to those of us with special needs and podcasting disability stories from an insider's perspective. We wouldn't be able to keep the lights on, keep this mixer plugged in. The lights, I should say the LED lights, right? The LED lights, as that's the light bulb that we educate people about, and all that. We'll be back. Our guest is Richard Boykin, fellow ComEd EnergyForce Ambassador from the Austin Family Community Center in Chicago. We'll be right back after a quick message from our partner, ComEd. Support for Special Chronicles comes from ComEd. Special Chronicles is proud to partner with the ComEd EnergyForce Ambassador program. The EnergyForce is the country's first energy efficiency education program designed for and taught by people with disabilities. ComEd is powering lives and really is powering us here at Special Chronicles to keep the lights on and our technology is powered on. As ComEd powers the lives of us, they're literally giving a voice to people with special needs. We thank ComEd for the generous support of our mission at Special Chronicles. Learn more at specialchronicles.com/ComEd. That's specialchronicles.com/ComEd. Our guest on the Special Chronicles show is Richard Boykin, fellow ComEd EnergyForce Ambassador from the Austin Family Community Center. Let's move on, Richard, and show you began a little bit in the previous segment telling us about your involvement with this awesome ComEd EnergyForce Ambassador program. But tell us a little bit about how and when you yourself, Richard, as an ambassador, and your organization, the Austin Community Family Center, folks got involved in partnering because along with you, the organization that I'm with, that I actually founded, Special Chronicles, both of our organizations have partnered with the ComEd EnergyForce Ambassador program. So tell us a little bit about the how and when you and your organization partnered with.
Excuse me. Again, about 3.5 years ago, Mr. Roseborough had came to me because he had put in for a grant to work with this energy efficiency program with ComEd. And as we discussed it and talked about it, we knew that this was going to be able to give us an opportunity at the Austin Community Family Center to empower the Austin community neighbors on the information that we had been able to get through this program with ComEd that some of our people in the community was not aware of. Again, my first year, it was truly exciting because we were able to get out in the communities, not just in the Austin community, but throughout the west side of Chicago and downtown area, and let people know what the energy efficiency program is about, how it can save you with the cost of your energy bill, the tips that we was able to give to people that was not aware of some of these tips that they could use to lower their energy bill, and they could get on the energy efficiency program, like you just said it, the LED light bulbs.
Yeah.
And thermostats in your refrigerator, your thermostats throughout the house, how to keep your power strips unplugged instead of just turning them off and continue getting energy surges. But one of the biggest things in our community that we was not aware of and we did not get interest was being able to explain about solar energy.
Yeah.
That was something in the Black community, and especially in the Austin community and in Garfield Park and Humboldt Park. You have homeowners, but the majority people are renting, and they didn't know how to go about this solar energy, and they didn't really understand. Some people would say, well, there's not enough sun in Chicago for us to be powered by the solar energy, but that was our way of being able to let them know that no, that was not true, that there's plenty of sunlight that will power this solar energy. And I have seen a few people transform to solar energy and come back and say, thank you, because this has really lessened my energy bill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was just going to say, I'm glad you mentioned that, as we are both in Chicago, but we also have listeners across the country, across the globe, that may also be just hearing about using solar for the first time. And it's amazing that because of this program, because of the ComEd EnergyForce Ambassador program, and us giving the energy efficiency tips, which our listeners will hear a few of those tips in our next sponsor break. But it's amazing that we're able to educate people that they might be able to actually save a lot by using the solar energy. And it's amazing that because we're partnering with ComEd, that we're able to really help to educate, and people will be able to save more. And then when people save more, then hopefully they can donate some of that to Special Chronicles, maybe. Not to get a donation plug in there.
Okay.
Anyways, you get the idea. Let's move on. Just for the sake of time, tell us about what you enjoy about the partnership with the ComEd EnergyForce Program, and in telling us what you enjoy. If there's a favorite memory from an event or an online, as we're doing online digital engagements this year as a part of your involvement with the ComEd EnergyForce Ambassador program.
Yes, we are truly thankful here at the Austin Community Family Center that we are part of the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program. It has helped so many people in the community and the surrounding communities to save on their energy bills. And again, I think it's sharing this information. I go back to a Bible scripture that says, we perish from the lack of knowledge. And, sometimes you got to get this knowledge out in your community where it hasn't been put out properly. But some of the events, it's truly a blessing. I enjoy being out to events and meeting people. Yes, it's great that we can give them information on how to save money, especially through the energy efficiency program. But being able to see a smiling face and smiling back with them or saying good morning. And then, we have our little table, Daniel, that people really love the little giveaways that we're able to give to them when they visit our tables. And,
yeah, like this.
Yeah. Hey, come on. There you go.
There you go. Yeah, like this table that podcast listeners, go check out the video on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter Live and check out this table. This is some of the stuff that we give away, right? With some of the what do you call it? The couple of shows with the
Yeah.
energy efficiency tips, and then all the other stuff that for much of this year has been just sitting in boxes and bins and that we have. But I thought of something, because we're doing this we're using StreamYard for, we don't really have anybody watching live right now, but when we do, on the other podcast that I co-host is the Georgia and Daniel Show, and we've been giving away some ComEd merch to our live stream viewers. Well, all they have to do is enter hashtag ComEd in the comments of the live stream show, and then we will draw a random winner based on the people watching the live stream. And so that, even though we're not able to be, like you said, at events at a table, we're still able to, through a giveaway, through this live stream show, we're able to still give away some of the ComEd merch and information. We throw in some information about solar and energy efficiency tips as well. In a little ComEd swag bag, I'll put it in a little box and ship it out. Yeah. So,
but I think, there was one thing more than you said something about a highlight. There was an event that I was invited to through ComEd Energy Efficiency Program, and it was at Navy Pier.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it was the Chinese New Year's celebration. And Daniel, that to me was such a blessing, because again, a lot of those people, they weren't aware of ComEd because they're from different countries and different states. But having the opportunity to meet so many different type of people and just let them know about what we have here in the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program in the state of Illinois, and to be able to talk to people, it was just a true blessing, man, to be able to meet people.
Yeah, well, and what you said of how at that Navy Pier event, when we have a table and those people that come from across the globe, what you just said about how we're able to educate people who might not be from Chicago, might not be from the ComEd territory, that's exactly the power that we are reaching through these podcasts and live stream shows on Special Chronicles. Well, yes, we've got a big audience in the Chicago market for this show, but we also have listeners across the country, across the globe, that when they listen to my weekly podcast and this live stream show, these live stream shows and podcasts I'm producing on SpecialChronicles.com, they hear about our partnership with ComEd, and maybe they're able to get a few energy efficiency tips, and they're able to hear what the ComEd EnergyForce program is all about, and we're able to not only, yes, I know ComEd wants us to reach in the ComEd territory, but because we're able to, through the Navy Pier event, through these podcasts and live stream shows, we're able to reach beyond, from coast to coast, across the nation, across the globe, and that's just the power of this digital media. We're going to go ahead and take another short sponsor break, and actually here, on a lot of sponsor breaks on podcasts, we try to a lot of the ads try to sell you something, but we're not trying to sell you something. In this next sponsor ad, we're trying to help you to save money and save energy through these energy efficiency tips, and that's what you are about to hear in this next sponsor break. It's all about us trying to help you to save energy and save money as we give you some tips in this next sponsor break. When we come back, we'll hear about some final thoughts, talking about inclusion and plugs, and final thoughts as we wrap up this episode with our guest on this week on the Special Chronicles show is Richard Boykin, fellow ComEd EnergyForce Ambassador from the Austin Community Family Center in Chicago. We'll be right back on SpecialChronicles.com.
Hi, my name is Lisa Noble, and I'm a ComEd EnergyForce Ambassador and an athlete with Special Olympics Illinois.
Hi, my name is Daniel Spakowski, and I also am a ComEd EnergyForce Ambassador and founder of a company called Special Chronicles.
The ComEd EnergyForce Program is a program that hires people with disabilities to teach the public how to save energy and money.
It's the country's first energy efficiency program of its kind.
Saving energy is especially important while everyone is at home due to COVID-19. We're using more electricity than ever before. Just think about how many more times you are opening the refrigerator door these days.
And while the economy is stressed, it's more critical than ever to save money where we can. Following these tips can save energy and money in this time of COVID-19.
Wash your clothes in cold water and use the dryer sparingly.
Your dryer can take up to 7 times more energy than the washer.
Turn off and unplug any electrical devices or power strips you are not using.
Electrical devices can continue to zap power even when turned off if they're still plugged in. We call them vampire devices.
Use LED bulbs.
They use 25% less energy than incandescent bulbs and last up to 25 times longer, saving you lots of money over time.
Keep your refrigerator between 35 and 38 degrees.
And be sure to use Energy Star appliances.
And last but not least, check out ComEd.com/home savings for more tips and rebates.
Lisa and I would like to thank you for taking the time to listen to us today.
Remember, we are all in this together.
Stay healthy.
And stay safe.
Bye. Our guest on the Special Chronicles show is Richard Boykin, fellow ComEd EnergyForce Ambassador from the Austin Community Family Center. Welcome back, Richard.
Thank you.
And as we come to a close now, I know we haven't been together a lot in this, but hopefully we'll be back together in person at some upcoming event when, as more people are getting the COVID-19 vaccine and more things are opening up. I know travel is opening up and more events around the city of Chicago are opening up, and so hopefully we'll be back. I'm hoping maybe for the holiday events later in the year, we'll have to see, but hopefully we'll be back at the same table at an event hopefully soon. But with that, a question I usually end, and ever since I was at the Special Olympics World Games in Abu Dhabi back in 2019, a question I usually end on a different podcast series. But for the past couple of years, I've been ending a lot of these conversations on these episodes with talking about inclusion. And I'm going to ask you the similar question, and that is, what does inclusion mean to you?
What inclusion means to me is I use, for instance, like the pandemic that we have been going through, and the inclusion is coming to where we are all getting the vaccine, where we are trying to help one another. The world is getting inclusion on trying to help each other. It's the same in our lifestyles, whether it's the pandemic, whether it's homelessness, whether it's hunger, whether it's people that just are in need. You know, inclusion means coming to that point to where we find a way to help. And in this pandemic, as I see it right now, we are coming to the inclusion where things are getting better. But I truly believe that we have to go through some things to get where we need to go with our community, special needs, ComEd. Inclusion is closure to me. Closure on an event, closure on a situation, closure on life. So that's more or less what I take with that.
Awesome. And now this is the point of the episode where we get to any plugs on social media and website for you and your organization, as well as the ComEd EnergyForce Ambassador Program website and ambassadors and video and podcast resources that we have all linked on our partner page, SpecialChronicles.com/ComEd ComEd. Yes, that's what I said, right? Isn't that what I said? I put up the wrong link. I mean, that link will go somewhere too. Anyways, SpecialChronicles.com/ComEd. SpecialChronicles.com/ComEd is where you can go to get links for the ComEd EnergyForce Ambassador program. ComEd.com/EnergyForce. ComEd.com/EnergyForce is where you can go to get more information, to meet Richard and me and all the other ambassadors and learn more about the program. And if you have an organization that wants to be part of the program next year, I believe later this year, they will open up their applications. So ComEd.com/EnergyForce is where you can go to get that application and more information about the program. And SpecialChronicles.com/EnergyForce is the page for this podcast series, where you can meet you can hear a conversation with Paula Conrad, Vice President of Excelon Corporate Relations, and she was one of the co-founders of the program, and also another staff, Shannon, and along with Richard, we've got a few other ambassadors, and all the way to the end of June 2021, we've got about another month of meeting just a few of the other ambassadors along with Richard and myself. So SpecialChronicles.com/EnergyForce, where you can get links to subscribe to this series and links to listen and watch this podcast series. You see it in this little lower third for his name, Richard, but acfamilycenter.org is where you can go to find out more information about the Austin Community Family Center, acfamilycenter.org. Anything you want to say, Richard, about if people want to find out more about your organization?
Yeah, well, first, Daniel, I want to thank Special Chronicles for giving myself and all the other ambassadors this opportunity to be able to talk about the energy efficiency program of ComEd. But I also want to let people know that we are located the Austin Community Family Center at 501 North Central. We have plenty of programming, like I said, educational, recreational, cultural. We just opened up a new computer center for learning. So please, if you get the opportunity, as you see, AFCFamilyCenter.org, or either stop by at 501 North Central to look at our program. It's very up and coming for the Austin community and also the surrounding communities. We are here to unite people, and it is a safe haven for a place to come.
Awesome. And Richard, do you have any final thoughts on your overall time here today on the Special Chronicles show you'd like to share with our listeners? Any final thoughts?
Final thoughts is, just truly being a blessing, Daniel. I'm a minister also, and it's just a blessing that we have been able to come through this pandemic. We use the slogan over here, thrive and not just survive through this pandemic, along with ComEd, along with our communities, along with the whole city, state, and the nation. So I just keep in prayer for everyone as we continue to get through this pandemic and things open up. It's going to be a different way of living. Yeah. And you mentioned the word thrive. There's a song by a Christian band called Casting Crowns. And they have, I don't know if you've heard of that band, Casting Crowns, but they have a song called Thrive. Okay.
So, anyways, it's been a joy, and it's been awesome having you on, Richard, and hopefully we'll get to meet up again in person at an event soon. Some final plugs if you want to connect with me. Well, what I'm doing when I'm not behind the microphone at Podmandan, PODMANDAN, at Podmandan on social media, on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn. You can find me on all on all those places. And want to just mention the Special Chronicles show is presented by the ComEd EnergyForce Ambassador Program. Learn more about the nation's first energy efficiency education program taught by people with disabilities, including video resources and original podcast series that you're listening to right now, and external resource links at SpecialChronicles.com/ComEd. That's SpecialChronicles.com/ComEd. And whoops, what did I do there? And help us fund our weekly podcasts and live stream shows on Special Chronicles, so we can tell empowering stories behind the microphone to further our mission and vision of giving respect and voice to people with special needs. Please join our community of supporters and make a gift at SpecialChronicles.com/give. That's SpecialChronicles.com/give. And if you want to get in touch with us, you can go ahead and send an email to us, feedback at SpecialChronicles.com, feedback at SpecialChronicles.com. And it's been awesome having Richard on. Our guest has been Richard Boykin, fellow ComEd EnergyForce Ambassador from the Austin Community Family Center in Chicago. It's been awesome having you on, Richard. And finally, SpecialChronicles.com. SpecialChronicles.com is the place to go to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and to subscribe to our newsletter and podcast on Apple Podcasts, the iHeartRadio app, and wherever you get your podcasts. Please share our podcast with your friends and family to help us grow our audience, reaching 5,000 downloads of our audio podcast and 24,000 average monthly listeners. And until next time, we'll be back next week with another ComEd Ambassador. I forgot it's a holiday weekend. It's a holiday weekend next week or next week. So we will still bring you a show. We're going to have to pre-record it, but we'll still bring you a show. And we have more episodes of our ComEd EnergyForce Ambassador Program weekly, all the way into the end of June 2021. And then after that, we've got some more exciting content for you that is currently in the works. Currently in production, I should say. More content coming to you. So until then, I'll see you next week right here on the Special Chronicles show on SpecialChronicles.com.
Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.